Now, I'd like to introduce you to Hugo van Belois. I don't know if I pronounce it well. Belois? Yes. Hugo van Belois. He's an environmental engineer of the Wageningen University. He's working in the field of Odour nuisance in the Netherlands for over 25 years. He has worked both in the consultancy and with the government. Since 5 years, his work is as an independent consultant on the field of air quality and the healthy living environment. Okay. Hugo.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have to speak in the microphone. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay, good afternoon again. I'll start with my talk on spatial planning, especially on Odour and the use of Odour maps. Carlos already introduced myself, so I will continue with introducing my talk. You see here the chapters, and the introduction is, well, I think everyone knows spatial planning, and especially in Holland, in the Netherlands, it's, well, we're used to it. We're grown up with it because we're a small country with a lot of people living on only a few square meters together. So we have to. And Odour nuisance is, of course, always one of the issues to pay attention to. Spatial planning, well, it's, well, easy to understand, I think. It's, of course, the best way to prevent any nuisance. In the Odour policy of the Netherlands, it's the main goal is to prevent any Odour nuisance, or otherwise make it well, available, or acceptable. Sorry. I see here a 3-3. It's a strange thing, but okay. So, first of all, spatial planning, a necessary, an essential thing to prevent Odour nuisance. So, of course, we should use it. Then, what's good practice in spatial planning? Spatial planning, well, as Carlos said, I'm already over 25 years in the field now, but I still see in the Netherlands everyone trying to follow this rule, every step looking at the expected environmental impact, and be sure you are certain of the consequences. But it's still, after all those years, it's still something also in the Netherlands to work on. It's a difficult one to pay attention to environmental impact every step, because the usual thing to do is you make your plan and start to look at the environmental aspects afterwards. So you build something and think, oh yeah, of course, we should have looked at odor, air quality, or sound problems. So the next one is also one of the, well, I think the main things to keep in head is only moving on with decisions about the consequences you take in the plans. I'll come back to that later. And the key word in the Netherlands is environmental zoning. I don't know if that is a common term used by everyone everywhere in the world, but we use it a lot. We have, well, quite some experience on it, and it's in our legislation. But, well, as I stated here, it's normal practice also on Odour, but for Odour issues it's not legally binding. It's not prescribed to look to Odour and to be sure you do the correct things and have a proper plan. And that's, well, that's a pity, of course, because for noise, for instance, and for safety, it is a legal binding thing. So you can't publish a plan, you can't move on with your plan if you haven't looked at those two aspects. Okay. Odour in spatial planning. Well, this is the way we do that in Holland. I brought the book with me. Hope you can see it. This is our national guide on environmental zoning, not only on Odour but on all aspects. And it's called, well, Factories and Environmental Zoning, a guide to the practice of spatial planning. And you see here within the table for Odour some, well, distances we use, we are used to use in our spatial planning process. First, you see the category, and that's the category of sources, of industries you are dealing with. Because in your plan, when Odour is an issue, there must be any sources. The sources are there already, or you're planning to give them new space. And you see we have several categories with distances from 10 meters only up to 1500 meters. Well, as I stated already, it's normal practice in Holland to pay attention to spatial planning and its environmental aspects, but it's not, you can't be sure it's not still, well, giving some problems. A common problem appearing after some time is, well, you look here at well, the map, or this is the photograph from above, and you see the industrial zone with the dwellings, with the city around it, and it's, well, it's there. The situation is there, well, for over 10 years, 15 years, and some changes appear, and now problems are there. And there are two, well, main causes we see which make situations problematic. Is the factory grows and still can be there on that spot concerning the spatial plan, or it changes its production. And it, well, we have two well, clear examples of that, and one of them was the producing of pet food. And because of animal diseases, spreading of animal diseases, there was a law which, well, changed the way pet food is produced. They have to heat it before producing any pet food. You have to heat your ingredients. So, well, that changed the Odour production of the factory, of that kind of factories, dramatically. And, well, because of that change, the same factory, the same surroundings, and of course, well, you can imagine there were problems. Okay. And, well, I would say, well, most of my work is this one. We have a situation, it's already there for over many years, and problems occur because of changes, some changes in the present situation. That's the most common issue to solve. And then you have to look at some measures, you have to look at a level of nuisance which is acceptable. Okay. Well, and because, like I said, it's a common problem occurring, well, several times a year all over the Netherlands. So, with the new law we are preparing now, we try to change it, and we try to change it to put, well, the word environmental space. I don't know if you can understand it directly, but it's like the hectares a company needs to produce what it wants to produce. You have some environmental impact it needs to produce what it wants to produce in the way it wants to produce it. So it's the space, and you can, well, you can call it also hectares or meters distance of impact around some factory, and you have to take it into account before planning or make your plan a definite one. But that's the new development, because it's not ready yet. Coming up in 2019 is the we try to reach it. Okay, then I come to the topic of the Odour maps, because if you want to pay attention to Odour in spatial planning, the Odour map is a, well, a quite logic product, quite logic source of information. And I put here, well, the three main benefits of Odour maps. You have clear sight on an Odour situation. You have your instrument to see what consequences there are from some plan you have. And you can make the alternatives clear. And you can also, I will end my talk with this point. You can also, and it's important to, in your planning process, get clear information available to the public. Looking on the topic of Odour maps, there is the question, typical Dutch. Are there typical Dutch odors? There was a journalist, a writer, and he wrote a book about it. This book, Hollandse luchten, and the Dutch airs, well, and airs in two meanings, of course, like I will show you now. Because the air in Holland, you can say, well, it's this kind of blue skies with the small white clouds in it, or it's the air of the oil industry, of the harbor of Rotterdam, or the food industry, especially in the Amsterdam region, or the odor, the air around the pig houses, all the animal farms in the middle of the Netherlands, or just the air of water, the smell of the sea, for instance. Typical Dutch. Well, let's see how the Netherlands look like then. And this map was produced in 2019. You see, I hope, two colors in it. The purple ones for the impact of industries, and the green ones for the impact of agriculture. Those are not the only sources of odor in the Netherlands, because we also we have a growing problem with the chimneys, because we have our gas in the Netherlands, and that's a clean source of energy, a clean source of warming up the houses. But more and more people want or do have the stoves, the wood stoves, and they cause well, problems in their neighborhoods. And there are some problems with sewers. Sewers all over the city, especially when there is heavy rainfall. Sometimes suddenly odor problems occur. But the two main sources of odor in the Netherlands are the industries and agriculture. So all the farming with the pigs, how do you call it? the chickens, the egg-producing industry, you could call it, or the meat-producing industry. And you see here clearly, for someone who knows the Netherlands a little bit, it's well, it's a very clear view on how the Netherlands look like if you imagine how it smells like it over there. Because you see the Rotterdam harbor in the west, or the Groningen harbor in the north, and the green regions of Brabant and the province of Gelderland. And some clear spots of factories, industries, well, throughout the land of the Netherlands. Some sugar factories, some beer breweries, and other types of industries. Or well, as well in the Amsterdam harbor, you have near Amsterdam, you have the steel producing one, which is well the biggest, almost the biggest odor source in the Netherlands. Having produced this map, it's an important benefit that we can count exactly the houses with odor impact, and also, of course, the houses which don't have any odor impact. Oh, it's not. I did not succeed to put it right here. This is difficult to read, but within this map we have three zones of impact, three types of impact: the high impact, the medium impact, and the low impact. They are all in the map, and we can count all the dwellings, all the houses which are in which zone. And well, the PBL I stated here is the Netherlands Environmental Assessment Agency. Then the odor maps, the types of odor maps. There are three types of odor maps, and it's important to realize that. You have two types which concern about the actual situation, and one about the future. Of course, the future is to put on the map what your plan is, or what developments you're expecting in the next future, and try to put on the map the odor impact to it. The other two are monitoring of the actual situation. Type B, as I said here, well, is the most common one in the Netherlands because of the fact that it's the legal basis for decision making, because it concerns only with the emissions permitted, so the emissions in the permits all sources need to have. But I think, well, and the type of odor map you saw just from the PBL, that type of odor map is odor map type A, is the actual situation, not only on the information out of all permits. No, it's the odor map presenting the best situation of best information on the actual situation. And I will show you how it is done. To start with this, I think, well, it's a very important part of the map, and it's, I think, also, well, quite a difficult one, is to have a database, a complete database of all companies and activities of any kind. Such a database is produced in the Netherlands first of all for economic reasons, to know how many companies, how many people are working there, what do they do, what do they earn. That type of information is very important, but we also use this database to present some information on the environmental impact of industries or any kind of activities. So because of that, we surely have to make a selection first out of that database which companies and activities are relevant in relation to Odour. And then we have to the relevance of Odour we have to put a distance, and this is, well, what was, I think, the main part of the work done for the PBL is to find the impact distance which you can put to any company or just a group of companies. And you see there are several sources of information on Odour impact. Literature, like the book I showed, with all those distances, but also, well, from its license, from measurements in the actual situation, for instance, but also from complaints or from surveys, the questionnaires about the nuisance around. And of course, the last step is using the geographical information systems to make out of this database the map you want, and putting on the map the best available information for your goal with that map and for the type of map you want to produce. Well, to show you, just a simple example of a small part of the database, because over the Netherlands we have 40,000 sources, 40,000 industries, activities with a relevance to Odour. But you see here, well, the ID of the object or the company, its name, its address, so its position on the map, of course. You have to have the coordinates, of course. Then all distances you have available, and you can link to that specific source. And then your criteria, if you want so to find out which one, which source of information is the best one for you. And here you have, well, just a small part of the original map for the environmental agency, the PBL, but now here just only for the Rotterdam harbor area, the Rotterdam Rijnmond area. And you see, well, the type of maps you can make or you can show. First, the sources with their impact distances. You see the three colors for the three zones of impact: the high, the red one, and the medium impact, the orange one, and the low impact, the yellow one. And then you can change it into the map of the number of dwellings concerning that. And you see, well, most of them, they are shown here purple, and that are the dwellings with no impact. But of course, in the city of Rotterdam, there are many. Okay, I go to the end of my talk. This is a difficult one because the text is not clear on the slide. But I will tell you. to give you some remarks about well, the work I just showed is, well, the importance of Odour maps, as you see here in two items, is one in the area of Rotterdam, which is a crowded area and a lot of industry, which is, well, especially valuable for our economics in the Netherlands. The information with the Odour map, produced with the Odour map, was important to see, sorry, or to put in the process of spatial planning. Sorry. I hope to continue. It was, well, of great use in Rotterdam, because we could present the future dwellings planned already with expected high impact on Odour. So the plan could be changed, or the sources, especially the sources of relevance, there could be, or we could develop measures for them to be sure in the future there are less annoyed people over there and not more. And the second one is, well, the PBL itself. It's of course our national institute, and presented an evaluation of the national Odour policy. And based on the information produced with this map, we could see, we could state it also for everyone very clear that the national Odour policy did not reach its goal yet, because there is still severe nuisance, which we want to 0%. And well, maybe a very strange one, or well, a peculiar one, was that out of all information in the database, the information we got out of complaints showed to be the best available source of information on Odour impact, and the best available information to make your plans, your spatial plans on. So, well, be aware of that, and be sure you have, well, also the information on your complaints ready. Okay, well, there are two issues missing, but I come to that now, I hope. Well, the last one, the last remark from me, because for the future, well, it's already there, but for the future of all maps on environmental impact, or any impact on the local environment, is our atlas, Living Environment, produced also by the National Institute. And it's an important fact that all cities, all provinces, all governmental organizations can give their information to this platform to put it on the map. So the atlas should present should be able to present all information about all places in the Netherlands. Well, Carlos, I think you looked at it already. Well, first of all, sorry for everyone abroad, because it's only in Dutch. And just a small part has translated into English also. But if you look at the maps and the information present, it's just a small part of the Netherlands, or a small part of all possible information on the quality of our environment. So still work to be done. Well, I hope to have shown you the essence of Odour, of giving attention to Odour in spatial planning, and the use of Odour maps. So, this was my talk. Thank you.
Is there any question? No? I have a lot. Okay. So you are showing that right now in the Netherlands, you can actually do your planning taking into account the distribution of the others around, or that is not possible right now?
Yes, it's possible. Yeah.
So when you do urban planning, you have do you have information around to check if you can, for example, do a residence area, if there is an industry nearby, if there is a, let's say, a small city or town, and they are considering to build a new residence area, would they have this information in the map so that they know if it can be there or not?
Well, some cities do have, and many cities, they don't have that information, the type of information ready. It can be made, but it should be made then, especially for that process, that type of plan, which is made at that right moment. So it will take time then, but the information, well, and the way how to produce such a map is available.
Because you know, for noise, you have these acoustic saturated zones, these areas. There are areas where you cannot build a disco or a bar. Do you have this kind of zones for odors as well there?
In some places you have, but in well, most of the places, because odor is not legally necessary, in many places that kind of information or that kind of zones is not available.
Okay, and you showed this map, and it is on the internet, right? I was checking it, so,
yeah.
But I couldn't find the part of the odors. I was checking you could check for particles or NOx or SO2, but I couldn't find the other part in the website, in the Dutch website. Like you could select by filters,
yeah.
And I was trying to find if there was any area with just odors or something, and I was not able to do it.
Well, it should be there, but I will check it.
Okay, we'll check it afterwards. Okay. More questions? Okay, thank you very much, Hugo.